Welcome once again to my YouTube chemistry channel. I am Dr. Rohit Chakravarti, your friend, an educator by profile, a senior scientist. So this is the second video for class 12 student, and the topic is coordination chemistry, coordination compounds. So let's start the topic. Today we are going to discuss with the first topic, that is coordination polyhedral. So let me read out the definition. What is coordination polyhedral? The spatial arrangement of the ligand atoms which are directly attached to the central atom or ions defines a coordination polyhedral. About the central atom, the most common coordination polyhedra, तो जनरली जितने भी स्ट्रक्चर्स होते हैं इसमें जो मोस्ट कॉमन है दे आर octahedral, square planar and tetrahedral. Now few some common important definitions, that is oxidation number of the central atom. Last time I discussed in my first video that what are ligands, what is central atom, so what are the complexes, how they get formed. So in this now we are going to discuss about the oxidation number of the central atom. The oxidation number of the central atom in a complex is basically defined as the charge it would carry if all the ligands are removed along with the electron pairs that are shared with the central atom. So basically there is always a sharing of electron, or as I told you that always the central matter atom will always be electropositive and the ligands would carry a lone pair of electrons, so they would be electronegative. So what happens if all the ligands get removed, so along with the electron pairs that are shared with the central atom, so the total amount of charge that would be on the central atom is known as oxidation number of the central atom. Here the first example is tetracyanocuprate 3 negative. So here what happened, the oxidation number of copper is +1, as it is written is Cu1. Alright, what happened, because there are 4 ligands are there, CN4, and overall there is a 3 negative, so 4 minus 3 would be +1. So in this way we will calculate the oxidation number of the central atom. Here the central atom is copper, so the oxidation number of the copper would be +1. Now we are going to discuss about the homoleptic and the heteroleptic complexes. What are these homoleptic and heteroleptic? So the complexes in which metal is bound to only one kind of a donor group. Here you can see the donor group is ammonia, it's a neutral ligand. So, and these are known as homoleptic complexes in which a metal is bound more than one kind of a donor group. Here you can see there are two ligands, first is ammonia and the second is chloride ion. So these are known as heteroleptic atoms or heteroleptic complexes. Now talking about the nomenclature of the coordination compound, the most important topic of this coordination chemistry. So let's start with this topic. The cations is named first in both positively and negatively charged coordinated entities, and the ligands are named in the alphabetical order before the name of the central atom. So what is the important point to remember is that the names of the anionic ligands that is end with O, those of neutral or cationic ligands are the same except aqua. For water molecule we use the term aqua, for NH3 we use amine, for CO group we use carbonyl, and for NO we use nitrosyl. So the prefixes we use are mono, di, tri, and are used to indicate the number of individual ligands in the coordination entity. So when the names of the ligands including a numerical prefixes like bis, tris, tetrakis. So for 2 it is bis, for 3 it is tris, for 4 it is tetrakis. So are used in the ligands to which they refer and belong in the parenthesis. So the oxidation state of the metal in the cation, anion or neutral coordination entity is indicated by the Roman number in the parenthesis. So if the complex ion is a cation or neutral, the metal is named same as the element. And if, for example, CO in a complex cation or neutral is called cobalt and platinum is known as platinum. If the complex is an anion, then the name of the metal ends with the 8. Okay. Here the example is cobalt in a complex anion is called cobaltate. For example, the Latin name are used in the complex anion, like for iron it is ferrite. So here you can see on the left hand side you can see the ligands, on the right hand side you can see the respective names of these ligands. Like the first one is water, so we use aqua. For ammonia we use amine. For carbonyl group we use carbonyl. CO is carbonyl. NO is nitrosyl. For ethylene diamine, we use ethane 1,2-diamine. For cyano group, we use cyano. For chloride, we use chlorido. For oxalate anion, we use oxalato. For carbonate, we use carbonato. For thiocyanate, we use thiocyanato. So basically, you can see on the end of the words, we use O, ATO. Okay. For nitro group, we use nitrito. So here are a few complexes there. IUPAC, how we can write here, you can see chromium is the central atom. Then we have three ligands outside the complex. We have chloride. Okay, so how we can write down the name? So triamine triaqua chromium 3 chloride, because outside there is a chloride ion. So in this way we can write out triamine, because there are three amine groups. Then triaqua. Okay, then chromium 3 chloride. Similarly, the next one is tris ethane 1,2-diamine. Okay, because three ethane 1,2-diamine groups, so we use tris. Then cobalt, the central metal atom oxidation number would be 3. And then sulfate, outside the complex we have sulfate and ligand, so we write down sulfate. Similarly, next one is silver complex. So how we can write down diamine silver 1 dicyanoargentate. Okay, because in the next we have to use the tate, so argentate we are writing it for silver. So there are few other examples. You guys can take a snapshot of this, of different complexes of coordination. This will actually help you to enhance your knowledge, and also the more you practice, the more you gain the knowledge. मैं हमेशा आप लोगों को बोलता हूँ, chemistry is a subject which you cannot rote, we cannot learn. You need to understand the concepts only, then only it will be easy and it will be an amazing subject. Otherwise, the more you try to memorize it, the day or after day or two, you will all will be rubbed out from your brain. So better you try to understand the concept. Whatever videos I uploaded, go through all the videos, give plenty of time to yourself, and try to practice. Whenever you sit for the chemistry subject, you need to have a paper and pen, you need to have a register. So this is the thumb rule to get success in the chemistry subject, whether you are preparing for board exams or you are preparing for the competitive exams. Do remember one thing, that chemistry need lot of practice, and if you don't practice, you don't have a practice to write down, it will not be easy to understand the chemistry concepts, whether it's inorganic chemistry or organic chemistry or physical. Basically for these type of topics which is theoretically basically the concept base, where you have to understand how to write down these IUPAC of the coordination compound. So these are the few examples which I feel is very important for your exam point of view. Now talking about the most important another topic, that is isomerism. So isomerism are two or more compounds that have the same chemical formula but a different arrangement of atoms are known as isomerism. Basically they have the same molecular formula but structurally they are different, their arrangement of atoms would be different. If we talk about stereoisomerism, so in stereoisomerism they have the same chemical formula and the chemical bond, but they have a different spatial arrangement. For example, there are two type of stereo, that is geometrical isomerism and optical isomerism. And the first is structural isomerism. What are structural isomerism? So structural isomers have different bonds, like linkage isomerism or coordination isomerism. Third one is ionization isomerism, and the fourth is solvate isomerism. So take a snapshot of this slide, very important bacho. Whatever video I've been uploading, all the slides are very important, and I always told you that whatever I try to upload is especially for those students who cannot afford expensive tuitions and coaching centers. So these videos are very important to make your concepts clear. Write down these, make some notes from these videos. It will help you a lot for the preparation of chemistry. Now first we talk about geometrical isomerism. This is the type of isomerism arises in the heteroleptic complexes due to different possible geometrical arrangement of the ligands. Here we discuss about the square planar complexes like cyanide, which is having 4 of formula. So mx2 lx2, where x and l are the unidentate ligands, and the two ligands x may be arranged in the adjacent or to each other in a cis isomer. So basically geometrical isomer is cis and transformed when both the atoms or ligands are present on the same side, then it is known as cis isomerism. When it is present diagonally, then the complex is known as a trans isomerism. Here you can see through pictorial presentation, I try to make you understand. Here you can see geometrical cis and trans isomerism. On the left hand side, there is a cis, that is a diamine dichloroplatinate cis complex or cis isomers. On the right hand side, both are the same, having the same number of atoms. You can see there is no difference in chemical composition, but what is the difference is only their positions of the atoms in the two structural form. Similarly, the next example is tetramine diaminocobaltate complex, where cis and trans both the forms have been given in this slide. Now talking about the octahedral complexes of formula MX2L4. So the two ligands X may be oriented as cis or trans to each other. So this is the example of trans and cis form. Here again you can see the basic difference is the position of the atoms. Now another type of geometrical isomerism occur in the octahedral coordination entities of the type Ma3B3. Here you can see I have given an example of the complex which I have written over here. Here three donor atoms. Here you can see there are three amine and three nitro group of the same ligand occupying adjacent position at the corner of the octahedral face. We have the facial isomerism. So when the position are around the meridian of the octahedron, we get the meridional or MER isomers. Here you can see through the pictorial presentations. These slides are very important, bachcho. Again and again I am telling you that keep your NCERT books with you while you are preparing for this coordination compound topic, and just watch my videos along with read the NCERT. Your concepts get more clear. So now what is optical isomerism? This is the last slide for today's video. I will upload more videos on this topic of coordination compound. So let me read out. The optical isomers are the images, mirror images that cannot be superimposed to one another, and these are called enantiomers. The molecules or ions that cannot be superimposed are called chiral molecules. So basically, for chirality, how we can check through SOR, the specific optical rotation. They either rotate on the left and the plane polarized light. They rotate, these optically active compounds rotate the plane polarized light either on the left hand side or on the right hand side. So these are known as dextrorotatory or levorotatory, and the notation is D rotates to the right hand side and the L rotates to the left hand side. So this is how we measure. This is the source of the plane polarized light. It goes through a tube containing the sample, and how the detectors will find out the degree through which the polarized light has been deviated. So thank you so much, bacho. I hope you guys will like these videos. Do like, share and subscribe my channel, and keep sharing these videos to the students, those who cannot afford expensive tuitions and coaching centers. Thank you so much.